I don't think it's one community.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, how could it be?
I find this interesting. Vivek Ramaswamy. Sorry for mispronouncing your name. Vivek Ramaswamy. I'm really trying to get that down. Anyways, I'm worried that he's saying what we want to hear, but not what he truly believes. That he's just trying to win votes by saying exactly what we want to hear. There's a few examples of him flip-flopping on positions. So I'm worried that he's not consistent. That he hasn't consistently held these positions. But I love his answers, even if he doesn't believe them. But I'm sure hoping he does. All right, let's listen to him.
Mashed together an alphabet soup. Trans is fundamentally in tension with gay, if you ask me. But what's your opinion?
I'm personally pansexual, so I was just wondering what your views on same-sex couples were.
I don't have a negative view of same-sex couples, but I do have a negative view of a tyranny of the minority.
Perfect.
So I think that in the name of protecting against a tyranny of the majority, and there are times in this country's history where we have had a tyranny of the majority, we have now, in the name of protecting against tyranny of the majority, created a new tyranny of the minority. And I think that that's wrong. I don't think that somebody who's religious should be forced to officiate a wedding that they disagree with. I don't think somebody who is a woman who's worked really hard for her achievements should be forced to compete against a biological man in a swim competition. I don't think that somebody who's a woman that respects her bodily autonomy and dignity should be forced to change clothes in a locker room with a man. That's not freedom, that's oppression. And so I believe that we live in a country where free adults should be free to dress how they want, behave how they want, and that's fine. But you don't become oppressive by foisting that on others, and that especially includes kids, because kids aren't the same as adults. And so I think adults are free to make whatever choices they want, but do not foist that ideology onto children before children are in a position as adults to make decisions for themselves. And so I think a lot of the frustration in the country, and if I'm being really honest, that I also share, comes from that new culture of oppression where saying those things can actually get somebody punished. And in my case, it's part of why it's my responsibility to say them. And I respect that you may have a different opinion, and that's okay. It's part of what makes our country great is that you and I can be civil and have this conversation, and that we live in a country that still gives us, each of us, the right to speak to a presidential candidate and back, and still say that we pledge allegiance to the same nation. So I think that's the beauty of our country, and that's my honest opinion.
Awesome. Well,
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
So even though if he doesn't believe what he's saying, there's people like me who believes in what he's saying. So we're going to probably vote for him, and hopefully he upholds exactly what he says. But at the same time, how can you not be saying this stuff and not come to believe it? That you cannot keep repeating these narratives and not have it affect you. So I have high hopes for Ramaswamy. Still awkward on my tongue. I'm trying to say it. Please bear with me. But precisely, we've gone from a special protected class of citizen to a special class of citizen, where they have extra rights, extra privileges, extra benefits for being a special class citizen. They're not a protected class, they're a special class of citizen, that their rights are actually superior to normal citizens who are not part of the protected class. So we've crossed the line that this one person's rights are now bigger and superior to the normal class. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. That everybody's supposed to be equal as citizens of the United States. Not having a special class, not a two-tier justice system where Democrats are protected, but Republicans are persecuted, and as such, that is not equality under the law. All right. Good morning, good night, depending on what time it is and where you live out in the world.